Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I am working on checking out some cool stuff. I'm here at North American Motor Car, American Metal, and my son-in-law actually works here. He's like the lead mechanic. So he's taking me for like a tour of the shop. This place is amazing, absolutely amazing. But I wanted to show you a few things. I couldn't film everything. I couldn't film in the shop because it's too noisy. So I took some still photos, and what I'm going to do is in the middle of this video, I'm going to show you the still photos. But what I want to show you is a bunch of this stuff that they have here in the back room. This is the back room. Yeah, huge. So here is a flathead. Ford, I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't know my flatheads, to be honest with you. But that's pretty cool. It's a V8. Here's a 4-cylinder flathead. Check that out. Here's your ignition wires. Bare exposed ignition wires. And they just touch. So it's amazing if you think about it. Cars, you know, just 15, 20 years ago that had ignition wires. Well, LSs still have them. But vehicles with ignition wires, you know, you'd have to worry about ignition wires arcing out and stuff like that, or getting water on them and whatnot. And look at this. I mean, that's pretty cool. But I'm going to show you some of the stuff they have here. It's a Chevy big block of some sort. I don't know what it is. That's a 327 supposedly. That's pretty cool. That is a Ford flathead V8. Supposedly it runs very good. It came out of a vehicle they're doing a resto mod on. But let me show you. That's a 68 Firebird fender. But let me show you some stuff that they got here. I'm not big into motorcycles, but I can appreciate this kind of stuff. Harley Davidsons. That's some cool stuff back here. Check that out. How cool are those pre-war bikes, or war bikes, whatever you want to call them. A whole bunch of cool stuff. That's a 440 with, I think that's a 671 blower on it. This is pretty cool. I love stuff like this. This is cool. That is awesome. Old school hot rod. But they do a lot of customizing work here. There's a 69 Firebird front chassis, front subframe. I don't even know what this one is. But it's pretty cool, ain't it? Cadillac, maybe? I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Whoops. There, I'm knocking stuff over. That's a sweetheart right there. Check that out. That's beautiful. I love stuff like that. Buick GNX El Camino. Kind of interesting. There's a nice 63-ish Corvette. Pretty cool. There's an Elko with a big block. All golded out. That'd be pretty cool. Cadillac. That street rod up there. Got a few race cars up there. This is pretty cool. This is going to be their shop truck. And I thought what was pretty neat on this, you look at the panel right there. American Metal. That's pretty cool. They're building that up. Flames on that. Look at an Olds up there. That's actually pretty cool. Too bad I can't see it. Old Riv. In case you're wondering, remember you heard me mention Kate in the past? That's Kate with her back towards you, and there's Mrs. Wrenching. Here's a Cobra. That's a kit car. That's a 351 powered car. That is actually my son-in-law Chris, who works there. That's his dad's car. There's a little Alfa. I don't know much about Alfa Romeos, but I always dug the body styles on these. I always thought they were such a good-looking little car. There's a Jeep. I don't know what they used to call these things. Commanders? Oh, it's a J4000? That's pretty cool. You don't see those anymore. Corvette. Look at that up there. That's pretty cool. Another old school hot rod. I dig that. I always like these Jeeps. I think for them. Check out this one too. Kind of a resto mod with a 302. Nice 56 Chevy, I'm thinking. That's pretty cool. A couple more bikes. American Metal Whiskey, that's their other company. That is that's really, really cool.
I fixed your car and then I walked out with the water.
Alright, let's check out a couple more things. That is pretty cool. Check that out. That is awesome right there. And this, you can tell, is a street-driven vehicle. Got bugs in the grill and everything. Drive your stuff. Pretty cool. All right, let's see what else is going on around here. Okay, so we got a whole section that I cannot film. Customers don't want their vehicles filmed, so unfortunately I can't show you pictures or anything of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the photos I took here. So there's going to be a period of still shots that you're going to be able to see. So let's do that, and then we're going to wrap this up. Okay, so everybody's on lunch at the moment, so real quick in the shop. How about that? My son-in-law Chris, this is the project he's working on right now. Got a little GTO action there. I think you all know what that is. Old school hot rods. This is badness right here. How cool is that? This is the paint shop. So 64 Fury right there. There's some stuff in there I can't film. Let's walk in the showroom. I'm going to show you one last thing before we go. Alright, so to me, this is cool of cool. What do you guys think about this? Daytona. And it is a 4-speed. See that? And it's a 440. 444 barrel. It's not a 6-pack, it's not a Hemi, but it is a real, honest to goodness Daytona. Pretty darn cool, ain't it? Alright, that's actually it. That's it for the tour. Alright guys, hope you got something out of my video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. Alright, have a great day. Keep wrenching.